I'm the Oddnight Builder. Welcome back to the conclusion. Let's start off with the paper towel holder. Start with a penciled curve on one part of the wood and tape it together with the other block to keep them equal. When cutting on the bandsaw, I use a 1/4-inch blade and use shallow cuts just outside the line for the curve. Gently pull off the screw it. Much better. I use a caliper to get the thickness of the wood, 29.87 millimeters. A little math later, close enough. You use this end to do the depth check of the hole. Place the depth portion of your caliper against the side and mark it well. You'll see why in a second. Lower a Forstner bit to the fullest extension of your drill press and match the line. Make sure that the bit size is slightly bigger than your rod. Slowly start to lower the bit. Be sure to come up every so often to air out the bit for a second. You can smell why. Perfect depth. Yep, too fast. Don't do that. When setting up a plunge router attachment, loosen the depth rod screw. Place the bit over the hole. Note the small spiral staircase. They safely help you cut without any issues. Use the lowest stair to set the rod with the bit resting at the bottom of the hole. Use the locking lever to lock the height. Lock in the rod. Make sure you have your work clamped down and that the clamp is lower than the hole that you will be working with. Starting from the hole, slowly follow the line the best that you can. Lower your stair step and router only in the starting hole and only after the previous pass is done. Expect a burning smell. Yep, those are burn marks, but it works! Oh, I screwed up. I forgot to rotate the panel to match the hole. Maybe. There we go! When cutting a rod longer than the throat of your saw, use this trick. Cut to the point that does fit, and then cut your line. Remember those pencil lines from before? Sand down to them for the best curve. I decided to use some scrap wood from the last shelf as nailers. I didn't want to nail the shelves straight through the rails. Clamp it down and start to nail. I'm using an 1 1/4 brad nail with my pneumatic nailer. It worked well. Using scrap the same size as my shelf and other scrap to make the additional 12 inches, I'm able to mark the location of the second nailer with the help of my speed square. Clamp it, flip it, nail it. I used more scrap to keep the line of the nailing. I use the same method of clamp and nail to secure the backer. Repeat for the other shelf. Nail the shelves to the nailers. I'm using my longer clamp from underneath to keep the gap between tight, which I took out here to show you why I used it. Don't forget the backer! Repeat the last few steps for the second shelf. This is the final piece. The notch came out well, as did the paper towel holder. Now to the staining. This is the following day. The stain looks pretty good. The always important dry fit.
So, after the dry fit, I had my wife come downstairs, and she critiqued it. Her critique being, it was sitting too low. Even though I made exactly to her specifications, she wanted it another 5.5 inches higher up off from the table so that her supplies could fit underneath the shelving. So, adjustments. Yay.
Measured down the height. Speed square away!
Alright, this seems perfect. Now, how am I going to cut this?
Anybody? Now to sand off the new edges of the one side and the other. Now to sand the shelves. Why am I doing this? 2 words: absorption and saturation. The wood absorbed the stain to the point of saturation and swell to small splinters to make the shelf rough. I'm using a tack cloth to remove the fine dust. Here is the finish difference. 3 holes per board. I alternated the pattern for strength. Sand off the splinters for a nice finish. I'm drilling further down to deal with the ductwork. My wife approved the height. Here's that ductwork. Two screws should be enough to remove this side's clamp. Solid. This is why you pre-drill those holes. This is why I hate these screws. They skip a lot. Final stain of laying out a nice heavy coat to both shelves. You see right there? There's your actual roll, your wiggle room, and all this left over. That's why you make that wiggle room. And this was why she had that one complaint about the height. She wanted her taller boxes to sit back here. And there's the final product right there.
Oh, one more tip, guys. If you're going to put something up in your spouse's area, make sure you put everything back when you're done. It's not an argument you want to have. Not that I had it, I'm just trying to save you guys. Okay, so that was a rather long video to wrap up the series. Oh well. If you like my series, please subscribe. Till next Odd Night, I'm the Oddnight Builder.